Writers, like I've said in reading, you have grown so much this year, not only in reading but also in writing. You have honed your skills for writing narrative, fiction essays, right? Narrative where you're telling a story, and nonfiction. We've had some informational essays, we've had literary essays, and you've demonstrated your learning about writing in a variety of ways. It's been through conversations with partners, conversations with your teachers, your notebook entries, your drafts in your notebook on the computer, your published pieces, and your Flash Stamina post-write pieces as well. So, like we mentioned with reading, you're going to be encountering a new challenge, and that's the state assessment. Not only is there some reading on there, but it's going to be an opportunity for you to demonstrate all that you know about writing. So today, I want to teach you that there are similarities and differences between the work we do every day in Writing Workshop and the work we will do during a state assessment. So you will use what you already know about writing literary essays, what we just finished, to help you write a 2-point or short response on the ELA exam. So let's just take a moment and refresh our literary essays. So here were some of the strategies that we used to write a literary essay. We started the essay with a thesis statement or a claim that included a theme or important idea from the story. We located evidence in the text that supports our claim. We began each supporting paragraph with a parallel transition, so we had early in the story, later in the story, at the end of the story, or you could have used some other ones. We elaborated by including specific details. We linked our evidence back to the claim, so we always said this shows that blank. And we concluded by pulling examples and ideas together and connecting them to your life or to the world around you. So how can you connect that to yourself? Let's take a look at what is included in a 2-point response. So here's the rubric for a 2-point response. Let's look at the 2 because that's what we're interested in. So the features of a 2-point response are valid inferences or claims from the text where required by the prompt, evidence of analysis of the text, relevant facts, definitions, concrete details, or other information from the text to develop response according to the requirements of the prompt. Sufficient, that means enough facts, definitions, or concrete details, or other information from the text as required by the prompts, and complete sentences with errors that do not throw off the readability or our understanding. I notice a few similarities. Do you? Take a moment to think about it. What do you notice that is the same? Literary essay, 2-point response. So in a literary essay, the first thing I notice is thesis statement, claim. Look over here. Claim. So you start by stating a claim. That's the same in both. Locate evidence in the text that supports your claim. Check this out. Facts, definitions, details, right? And you need enough of them to support your claim. So you need evidence to support your claim. So already, look at all those similarities. So what we're going to be doing on these 2-point responses, it's not drastically different from what you've been doing in a literary essay. In fact, it's just quite a bit shorter. So let's get to work on applying our writing knowledge and skills on a test passage. Luckily, you already read a passage, so you have all already read the narrative nonfiction, Coach Motivates Her Girls, both on and off the court. We should have read it twice by now. We've already talked about how we read this as an information, and we also read it as a story. Remember, it reads like fiction, but it's all true. Let's take some time to work on a 2-point response together. So the first thing I know I need to do in my 2-point response is I need to state a claim. So let me go to my 2-point response page. One thing I know for sure, so I've read this article a couple of times now, we all have. We may have even answered some multiple choice questions about it already too, if you've done that reading lesson. One thing that I know for sure is that it talked a lot about tough love. She's a hard coach, But it mentioned like she is always pushing them. She's always striving for the best, and sometimes she's even like buying clothes and food when they need it. So I want it to talk about she cares. She truly, truly cares. So watch me as I take this question, I rephrase it so that I can state a claim. So my question is, why do so many people respect Coach Gators? I'm going to start with many people. I'm just flipping the order. Why do they respect her? Many people respect Coach Gators because, and I'm gonna give my opinion, my claim here, my inference, because she shows how much she cares about her players. So now what I want to do is, looking back at my rubric here, I know that I need to go in and I need to provide evidence. I need to provide details. So my first one, what I'm going to do is look for an exact detail from the text. I'm going to go literal first. So I'm going to go right into the text and look for something that supports this idea that she really cares. So here's my reading here. And I know in this part, so you see in this part, she's stepping things up a notch. She's talking about sloppy play, candor, that's her open, sincere honesty. 40 years she brought respect and pride to the neighborhood. Ooh, now look at this. I see a quote. Just do something so that you can be self-supportive, help your family, set an example for those who are going to follow you. I like that. She's giving some really, really good advice. And then it follows and says they understand this and also how much Gators cares. Let's see. She tells her players. They call her Ms. Gators. I really like this quote that she has here because this is her giving some solid life advice about what she cares about, how she cares about them. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to take that quote from the text and I'm going to add it to my response here. So I'm going to say Gators tells her players, and I'm going to quote the text, just do something so that you can be self-supportive, help your family, and set an example for those who follow you. And that is the end of the quote. So now I'm going to have to be going back and looking for some more information. And I think what I'm going to do in my rubric, it had told me that I should analyze the text and maybe state an inference. So I'm going to go back and look for maybe not something the text said directly, but something that I kind of get an idea about from what the text is saying. But I still want it to support my idea that they respect her. So this here is telling me respect and pride, right? 1,000th career win. She's got competitiveness to lead her team. So if she's a leader, they're definitely following. She's got somebody who is in the WNBA, was an Olympic gold medalist. I think I have enough here. It seems like, and then she's got a couple interviews with other students as well, or former players who are going in and are vouching for her. They're supporting her, talking about what she's done. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of make an inference about these players. I'm going to use a quick transition. I'm going to say, in addition, and I'm going to make an inference that the players trust her. The players trust her because she's honest with them. They know she is able to take them places. Like college and the WNBA. And I'm out of line, so I think that's enough. I stated a claim, I supported with a direct quote from the text, and I made an inference. I think that's a pretty solid 2-point response. So remember, writers, there are similarities and differences between the work we do every day in Writing Workshop and the work we'll do during that state assessment. So you can apply your skills and strategies that we've been working on all year in a test-taking situation. So now it's your turn to practice what you learned today. So you are going to write a response to this prompt. How can I use what I know about essay writing and 2-point response questions to successfully write a response? Use 2 details from our charts and rubric to support your response. So you'll be looking at your copy of Literary Essay Strategies and the 2-point response rubric. Happy writing!